All right, guys, we are live. I am Smash Attack, as you guys know, and let me introduce you to Joe from Caging Elliott. How are you
What's
doing
up,
today,
people?
Joe?
I'm doing all right, a little chilly, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah. All right, so Joe's on the road right now, so you guys are going to have to see just like half of his face for right now, which we'd rather be safe than sorry than him actually holding his phone up by his face. So, if none of you guys have been here before on the United Ambition page, our interviews are pretty much just so beginners in the music scene or business scene and people that are getting a little frustrated and discouraged. We want everybody to know that, everybody has been through it and it's not it's not the end of the world if God forbid something doesn't go your way. And so yeah, so today we have Joe and we are going to be talking about the beginning of his music journey and why he is in the music scene in the first place. So Joe, you didn't even want to start off in a band.
No, actually, I grew up. My mom and dad got divorced early, and I kind of hopped place from place, and so music for me was an escape. I'd always loved music, and my mom's sister played guitar. Well, both of them played guitar and could sing,
Okay.
so I got in and wanted to play music, and after doing it for a couple of years, I actually kind of a late bloomer. Started playing when I was about 14, but I
Okay.
didn't really take music serious as far as, oh, I want to be in a band till probably 19 or 20. Uh, my mom passed away. My mom and my 3-year-old brother passed away in a house fire, and
Oh, I'm so
I just
sorry to hear that.
thank you. And I just started like writing, and next thing I know, a couple friends that were in bands said, "Man, those are pretty cool, pretty cool stuff, man. Why don't you consider joining a band?"
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. And next thing I know, about 5, 6 months later, put my first band together and been playing ever since.
So that peer pressure got ya.
Yeah, it did because I consider myself more of a songwriter guitarist than I do a guitar songwriter.
Okay.
And that's as the years ago I evolved. That to me is my strongest suit is the arrangements and lyrics. Right,
Okay.
everything that we write comes from either a personal experience or somebody very close to us. So
Gotcha. Okay, so it sounds like, through all of the craziness that happened in the very beginning of your life at a very young age, you use the music as an escape. And a lot of people don't understand how much music can actually save someone. So I think that
and
that's awesome that you used it in that way.
thank you. And that to me is the biggest compliment I've ever gotten is actually being in this band. The songs that we've written, we've had people come up and say, "Look, you said exactly what I was thinking, and you expressed it." So, we've actually had people come up and say, "Your song saved our life,"
Right.
and
Right.
that's the ultimate compliment. And two, that's what now, as I've gotten older, that's what I want. I want the music to be able to speak to people.
Exactly. See, a lot of people, that just kind of listen to music just to listen to it. It's so weird that they don't agree with a lot of like rockers or like metalheads because in the rock music and in metal music there is a lot of hidden messages that you can really go in depth with it and kind of have your own meaning towards a song. Is there any song that, sticks out for you when it comes to that?
Uh, Band wise, Alice in Chains, a lot of the lyrics, a lot of arrangements really kind of spoke to me. I
Okay.
mean, coming from a broken home, I'm not gonna lie, say I didn't dabble in drugs. I did find anything to escape, and music became my drug.
Right.
Uh, as far as our music, it's probably Shooting Star is coming up on the new album that's gonna be released in April or May. My niece committed suicide 2 years ago. Left two little kids behind, and had everything in the world going for it. But whatever went on, she gave up. So I wrote a song called Shooting Star, and it's basically about suicide awareness.
Gotcha. I'm sorry for your loss again. I can't even imagine.
It's hard because me and her were so close. I helped raise her, and I taught her to play guitar. She played in bands, so it still a everyday occurs. I think about her and stuff like that, but I mean, there's nothing I can do to bring her back. But if the song comes out and it saves one person, then it did its job.
Exactly. Exactly. See, that's like one of the biggest things is, you know, I'll be 30 in October this year, and there's been a lot of crazy stuff in my life that has happened, and I always used music just like you did to escape, to kind of make it your own. I obviously don't write music, but I kind of have a little bit, like a little dabble into poetry and stuff. And I'll just write a whole bunch of stuff. So I totally understand where you're coming from whenever it's just like everything that's just built up right in your chest, you just throw it out there. And if one person reads it and they're going through the same exact thing and they can make it their own, I totally get that, which that's awesome. I'm so like, that's why I'm like honored to have you on here, because a lot of your music, of course, I've been listening to you guys for a while now, and a lot of your stuff, there's so many different messages that you can get through it depending on what you're going through in your life. And I love that it can go any which way for anybody.
Well, that's where I guess over the last 5, 6, 7 years, something like that, I've really pushed the issue of being unisexual. I guess is the best term to use. What I'm writing about, I know what I'm writing about, but like you said, the message may be something different for somebody else,
Exactly.
and that's what we've tried to do. We stay away from the cookie cutter lyrics and stuff like that. We do, like I said, write about our personal experiences. Everybody in this band has the input, so I mean, what you hear is life experiences.
Right. Exactly. And I love that because honestly, a lot of the stuff that, people write, I mean, I get it. Like rock and roll is all about, drug, sex, and alcohol type of thing. And there's like so much more than just that. And it's, mental health awareness, it's suicide awareness, it's, if somebody lost a loved one and it comes out. My dad passed away in 2012, and there's so many songs that I've heard from then up until now, and I can kind of be like, oh my gosh, like that reminds me so much of my dad, or like losing my dad, or the process of it. So with your guys' music, just know that I personally thank you, because I appreciate
Thank you,
the absolute hell out of you guys. You know,
thank you,
on some of my hardest days, I turn on you guys and
thank you,
I just jam out. and, and
thank you.
sometimes jamming out is like the best way to get out of like the funk that you're in.
Well, it is, and when I started, because I'm the only founding member left in this band. We've gone through a lot of lineup changes over the last few years.
Okay.
And when I started this, because I had got out of music, out of bands for a couple of years, and I had somebody approach me about putting a project together and wanted to use Kate, because I've had Kate and Elliott name for a few years.
Right.
And I said the only way I can do it is, and some of my favorite bands talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and that's great. But that ain't me. That ain't what I wanted. I wanted to be more of a, I don't want to say uplifting, but I mean that's I guess the easiest term to use. I want my music to mean something.
Right. Exactly. All right. So let me ask you this. Whenever you say that your music means something, and especially to someone, so when you guys are playing live shows and you start seeing the people in the crowd just jamming out with you guys, and at the end of the set, they come up to you and give you those messages. How does that make you feel on like just the personal level of being the songwriter?
It becomes surreal sometimes because it's like we don't look at ourselves as, anybody special. We're just regular people that happen to have a little bit of talent. And for me as a songwriter, it makes me proud. It's what I wanted as far as my music to get out there was to have some kind of message. And for it to touch people like that, it's just like, it's a feeling you can't explain.
Right. It's like undescribable. That's awesome. I absolutely love that because I mean, like I said, if you're out there saving lives and you don't even realize it, and then someone actually does come up to you and they're like, "Hey, this happened," and you're just like I wouldn't even know what to do in a situation like that. I would just probably like hug them. Like I don't really know
I
what
mean,
else to do.
and that's it. I mean, it's strange. I'll tell you, the experience we had. It was last year before last. Uh, we did a show back up in this area. We hadn't played up here in a while, and we did a show up here. And when people start singing our lyrics back to us, it was like so surreal.
Yeah. It's
It's
like,
like,
wow, this is really happening.
yeah, like people actually took time to listen to our songs and learn our lyrics, and like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can't imagine because obviously I'm not in a band. I can't sing. I can't do anything with an instrument except, you know, make people's ears bleed, really. But, you know, that would be such an insane feeling. Like, for a perfect example, I actually had someone message me and, you know, they were talking about how they don't think that they can do anything when it comes to making their own business. And regardless if it's music or business, regardless, it's a brand. So I was talking with her about it, and she was talking about all the kids that she has, and she still works a typical 9 to 5. And I told her everything that I do on a daily basis. And you and I, we've talked about that before, about being super busy
Yeah.
all the damn time. And she actually got faith in herself and hope in herself, and she actually started building her own empire. So I kind of feel like that might be a little bit of what it's like for you with, you know, songs, but it's your chest just wants to explode when that happens just because you're so damn happy.
Well, it does, and from Cage and Elliott and some of the other bands I've seen on your show, without people like you, and we appreciate what you do.
No, always. I can't imagine my life without any of you guys. It would be so boring and quiet. It would be so damn quiet. All the noise that you guys make, I can't help but love it. So I appreciate you as well.
Thank you.
So when it comes to you guys were before this whole pandemic, you guys were playing shows very, very regularly. Like you
We
guys
were
were out
pretty,
there.
yeah, we were pretty busy. 2019, we did close to 75, 80 shows.
Yeah,
Uh, then of course Corona hit, and that just.
right.
But we tried to stay relevant. We went in, we used the time wisely to get this album done. We still tried to get on Facebook and interact with our fans because it don't just affect us; it affects everybody.
Right.
And so, yeah, we try to stay busy. We was hoping 2020 was going to be a good year, but it wasn't. So,
Hey, but you guys honestly, last year was probably the shittiest year for everybody. But this year, hopefully with, you know, all of the beginning steps of the
yeah,
coronavirus out of the way. And I say beginning steps very, very
yeah,
lightly just because who the hell knows when this is over. But when it comes down to it, you know, like you said, you were in the studio, you guys were writing, you guys were recording, and you're looking forward to new music coming out. And that also leads right back to, you know, mental health awareness as well, because if you guys are putting new music out and this might go on for God knows how long, it could
yeah.
be, you know, saving people from the depression of having the lockdowns and not having, you know, stuff that they had a year ago.
And that's been the hardest part for us. I mean, we still got together during the pandemic. We practiced at my house.
Yeah,
So we're very careful. But I guess that's the biggest thing that affected us was just not having the fan interaction. It's cool being on Facebook and Instagram and all that and talking to people, but it's just not the same.
exactly. Exactly. Sometimes it's just better to have, like, I love talking to you on here, but sometimes it would just be cool if it was like, hey, let's go grab some coffee, like, let's go hang out, type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And
definitely.
you don't realize how much you actually need, like, that physical interaction until something like this happens. And I can't imagine not having, like, your fan base right in front of you on Fridays and Saturday nights.
And that's the decision we made. I know a lot of bands were doing the live stream videos and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and that's cool. But we made a decision not to do that because it's just not the same. Yes,
exactly.
we'll play and all that, and that's great, and we love playing. But to get the energy off the crowd and the environment, it's just not the same. So we made the decision not to do a live stream.
Exactly. And when people come up to me and ask me about that, how do you feel about live streams and stuff? I think live streams are awesome, but as, like, a fan that goes to shows, there's nothing like having that sound go right through your chest. Like, it's just the happiest feeling that you could ever feel, I feel like,
It,
just
well, it,
having
it,
all of
well, it
it.
is as what I was saying, like that show I was talking about earlier about having the fans sing back to you. You don't get that with a live stream. You don't get
Exactly.
that one on one experience with somebody coming up talking to you and stuff like that. So we made a decision early on that we just wasn't gonna do live streams. It's just not that's not who we are. We are a live band that like to hang out with our friends, family. We don't even call our fans, they're family.
Yeah.
So it's just not the same.
Yeah. I can't, like I said, I can't imagine how hard it is because honestly, I mean, if it wasn't for live videos, I probably wouldn't even be a relevant person anywhere in the music scene because all I can do really is to come on to live and post as much as possible on Facebook. So it's like, even though, and that's like the crazy part about this whole business is, you know, there's people like you that just go out there and like hang out with everybody whenever you're playing shows and stuff. And then here I am on like the backside of things. And I'm like, I've never even like been on, a stage as like, even just as like an MC. So my happiness is totally different than your happiness when it comes to that stuff, but I totally get it in the same respect because whenever I see comments, start flooding the hell out of a live stream,
Yeah,
it's almost like those people singing back to you guys.
yeah,
So I just think that it's really cool that there's so many different ins and outs and ways of the music scene that you can get happiness regardless on what side of it you are.
yeah.
So when it comes to my happiness, I love to promote and I love to manage bands. So that leads me to my next question. When you had first started out, you didn't even want a band, but they peer pressured you into being a band. You know, when you guys started booking shows and, you were trying to promote yourselves, how difficult was it?
Honestly, it really wasn't. Being from Memphis back in the late '90s, early 2000s, that they had a lot more clubs and the bands kind of helped each other out. I knew so many people in bands because I was always around the scene.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't that difficult for us. Uh, but we didn't take it serious either. Being that young, in my early 20s, we wasn't taking this looking like, okay, we're gonna be a famous rock band. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't take the business side of it so serious. Now I don't want to be signed, but I want to be able to tour. So that's the weird thing now. It's changed so much where multimedia has changed the game so much where you don't even have to have a band now. You can go in and spend $1,000, get a home studio, and you got a whole band.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody's competing for one or two clubs because I mean, obvious with the pandemic, it's affected the club scene and stuff like that. So that's my biggest fear is what's going to happen on the other end when we do come out. Is there going to be enough clubs for everybody to play?
Exactly. Well, that's definitely a scary thing because I mean, since the whole thing started, like up in Pittsburgh, up here, it really started like the second week of March of last year. And from that time up until even present, I've seen at least 8 to 10 venues just completely go under. You know, they had the GoFundMe's, they had fundraisers, they had benefit stuff, and it still just couldn't help them. And that
And
is
that's
really scary thought.
well, say speaking on that, that's the issue because like we go to a club, our guarantee, and that's it. And with the club owner not knowing who's gonna show up or even open itself to be able to have everybody's affected. You can't. It's hard to donate when you're struggling to pay your own bills.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't get too political and a lot of stuff, but that was my only issue with the whole government thing. Either do what you're going to do or not do, but it's something's got to give.
Exactly. Exactly. And honestly, it's almost like one of those things that unless you actually stand your ground and really like look into everything, nothing's going to change. And one of the things that I go by is nothing changes if nothing changes. So let's hope that something actually is going to change and we're going to get the heck out of this crap. And there's going to be venues and there's going to be bands because a lot of bands, as soon as everything started, a bunch of them just gave up. And it was
I
so
got
heartbreaking.
I got a couple friends who have been playing for much as long as I have that had pretty much semi-successful bands. They were touring the Mid South. They were playing every weekend, hell, three or four. That was their jobs,
Yeah.
and they broke up. And that's the one thing we all talked about when it happened, and we all decided, look, whatever we got to do, we didn't feel Cajun Elliott was doing. We
Yeah,
still had we still had things to say. So
absolutely. And honestly, like, I'm kind of selfish when it comes towards you guys. I don't want you guys to ever be done because I enjoy you too much. So I don't want you guys to ever be done. So, like, keep that in mind. God forbid anything were to happen, that you do have people out here, like, that are seriously rooting for you guys and people that really do appreciate you. Sometimes it's only you think about it and you're like, okay, well, we know that this person would be upset if we broke up or this person, but there's a hell of a lot more than you guys even probably know because my kids upstairs right now, whenever I put you guys on my phone and plug it up to the Bluetooth speaker, oh, they rock the hell out too. So you have like little teeny tiny fans as well. So, and my daughter, she was like, I like them. And I was like, I know. And when we went shopping last, whenever I felt it was like, comfortable to try and
yeah,
take her out, she wanted a key necklace. And I had asked her why. And she said to fit into the lock. So there's a 4-year-old that is a humongous fan of you guys. So just know that.
we appreciate. Well, I will say this: different from any band I've ever been in. We got 9 songs on the new album coming out, and over the last few weeks, we got probably another 5 or 6 songs written for another album. So
Oh,
we don't
man.
plan on we don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon.
Well,
So
that makes me very happy. And I'm super excited to talk about the new album whenever it comes out with you because, I mean, I'm going to listen to it and then I'm probably going to message you and just be like, oh my God, I have so many things to say, So I'm like really excited for that. Um, when it comes to releasing your guys's new stuff, are you doing like a thing on Facebook or you doing like a live video to let everybody know that it's out, teasers, anything?
we're gonna start roll out on promotion probably here in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
We got some stuff in the works. We're waiting on contracts to get signed and all that, and we're getting a distribution deal. So we're working on that. It'll be all the media platform. We're doing a professional video for the lead track, Don't Tread on Me. So
Awesome. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Anybody that's watching this, just know that it's like me sitting here talking to Joe about caging Elliott is almost kind of like you talking to one of your friends about like a bigger name band that, you've been following for years. Because when it comes to caging Elliott, like I can't express enough of, and you said earlier, a little bit talented. That's bullshit, and you know it. You guys are kick ass.
thank you, thank you,
So,
thank you.
if you guys haven't checked out Caging Elliott, you definitely need to. And honestly, like Joe said earlier, there is no such thing as fans when it comes to Caging Elliott. It's just straight family. And whenever I really started talking to you guys, even Paige, whenever I was talking to Paige, you guys just like took me in, and I was just like, okay, I'm like the new sister in the group type of thing. Because it's not like a professional relationship. It's not like a friend relationship. It's just like, hey, you're family, and here's this, here's this, here's this. So I'll message you in a little bit. Like it's just like talking to a brother or sister, and it's
And,
so
and that's what
awesome.
and that's what we want because we've played with some bigger name acts that I don't want to say they forgot where they came from, but yeah, very standoffish, very. It's their world that they ain't want nobody interrupting them, and we don't feel that way. I mean,
Yeah,
all of us got day jobs. We go to work to finance this band and pay our bills and stuff, and that's the way I feel. If you can take your time out to like our band page, come to a show, buy our CD, listen to our music, whatever, then you're family, and that's
exactly.
that's just the way we feel.
Which I appreciate so much, because you have so many people, even if it's just a local band, sometimes like they are not humble whatsoever. They get like a few likes on their Facebook pages or a few followers on Instagram, and some of them just are not humble at all. And that's one
We deal
thing
we,
that
we
you
deal
guys
with that.
definitely are.
Yeah, we deal with that. We feel, and it may be wrong, but I mean, we get more love from people like you out of town than we ever do in our hometown.
Isn't that
Uh,
crazy?
and a lot of bands, I don't know why, because like I said, in the last 15 plus years I've been playing professionally, I've watched it change from bands helping other bands to now, okay, well, you got two more likes to me. I don't like you.
Yeah, it's always a competition.
And that's what we don't do. We just play what we feel. We try to put out the best music we can, and and hope everybody likes it. And that's just our motto. I will speak about Rusty for a second. I've played with some damn good singers. He's probably the best singer I've ever played with, not just because he's talented, because he's the most humble person I've ever met. And you will never not see a smile on his face when he's at a show, ever.
That's awesome.
I, I don't care if he's in the middle of taking a bite of his hamburger. Somebody want a picture, they're gonna get a picture of hamburger in his hand.
Oh,
And that's just the way we are. That's why we try to be that way. And so and yeah, I know you talked about, when you first came on the show about helping younger bands. The biggest thing advice I can give younger bands, if you believe in yourself, you'll get as far as you want to go. And two, always stay humble because there's always better musicians. And if you don't treat your fans with respect, how can they respect you?
exactly. And you don't have anything if you don't have any fans.
Exactly.
That's like the biggest thing is, obviously, like I said, I'm not in a band, but the biggest thing is to always treat your fans with like just like they're your family. Because if it wasn't for them, there I have quite a few likes on my Facebook page. And I always say I appreciate each and every one of you, because it's like it's still not real to me that so many people actually do follow me. And I have not nearly as many likes as you guys do, so I can't even like imagine, having like, a sit down thing and just being like, oh my gosh, there's like 9, 10,000 people that follow us,
And that's another surreal part. We'll joke about it like, man, how the hell do we got this many fans?
Yeah.
And when we did the teaser video with the lyric video of the demo track of Don't Tread on Me, when it hit 65,000 views, I'm like, wow, is this the same band? I mean, so yeah,
Wow.
it's been an interesting ride over the last 3 years, and that's another thing. I've been in bands, and for us to go as many lineup changes that we've had in a 3 year period, and to be where we're at in 3 years, it's just, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, but the thing about it is that regardless of lineup changes, that's another thing that I would try and like push to anyone that's getting discouraged or push to beginners is that if you guys don't have the chemistry, you're going to have a lineup change at some point or another. And it's sometimes it's heartbreaking, sometimes it's, sometimes it's a big mess.
It is, and that's the thing about it is, and this is another piece of advice to people who are just starting out. If you have an idea of what you want to be, don't change that idea just because this guy's a badass guitar player, or this guy's a great singer, or he's a hell of a drummer or bass player, whatever. Stick to your guns, because that's what I've done, and that's why we've gone through so many lineup changes. I'm not going to change the view of the image of what this band is, because we always feel that when we're out in public, and yeah, I mean, people know who we are up here in Memphis and stuff, and I get it. People come up and talk to me, oh, you're Cajun Elliott, yeah, and we represent this band and this brand at all times. We don't.
Yeah,
Obvious, you follow all of you. We're friends with most of everybody in the band, so we don't put political bull on Facebook. We keep our opinions to ourselves. We don't get in this whole everything that's going on, conspiracy theories and all that. If it ain't about music, we ain't talking about it.
exactly. And honestly, like what you had just touched on of, you know, if you have an idea of what your band is and someone does come into it, say you tried them out a couple of times and they're just kind of like, you're using that person right now just to see what all you guys can come up with. That's like, I feel like a lot of people think they're stuck when that happens because it's like, okay, well, where are we going to find a new guitarist? And it's like, guitarists are easy to find, especially like everybody knows how to play guitar, everybody knows how to play bass. The hardest part is finding a singer or a drummer, but they are still out there. And like, I'm not going to put any names out there right now, but one of my very, very good friends, he's kind of going through something similar like that, and he asked me advice, and I'm like, listen, we'll find you new people, but this is your band, this was your whole idea. So it's
Yeah, that's the bit
definitely
that
a big
you
thing.
yeah, you got to stick to your guns, like I said. And I take nothing away from any other band that's out here playing stages like us. If you want controversy, that's you. And that's great. I support you anyway.
Yep.
But that's just not what I ever wanted. And I got lucky playing with the guys I play with, that we're all on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody in the band except for Mick has children, wives, girlfriends, fiancés, whatever. We don't want to do nothing, not just to disrespect our band, but disrespect our kids, or have our kids have to deal with, oh, your dad said this, and we just don't want that.
Yeah. Yep.
We
And
we don't
that's,
cuss in our music.
yeah.
Uh, we stay away from cuss words in our music. Now I ain't gonna say you come to a live show, you ain't gonna hear a song, because you will. But I mean, most of our shows are 21 over. So, but when we do, we have done a couple all ages show, and we reserve ourselves. I mean, regardless if it's a hobby, a beginning band, mid level, professional, That's it. Always be a professional band.
Yeah,
Whether you got 100 likes or 100,000 likes, you're still playing music. You're still going to be playing the same stages these folks are playing. So,
exactly.
uh, and tell your friend, don't get discouraged, because I hadn't played music in 4 years when I put this band together. I pretty much have gave up. I was done dealing with the egos, attitudes.
Yep.
So, and this kind of fell on my lap. Started putting it together, and now 3 years later, I'm in a position that never thought I would be in, and I play with four other great guys, and their significant others or children. They all come to the house. The wives and girlfriends go in the room while we're back there making a bunch of racket, and and we do say we're a family, and we portray that. We have barbecues together. We invite some of the local people over just to hang out. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody that I have talked to when it comes to caging Elliott, all of you are very, like, very, very big into being just a humongous family. And no matter what you guys do, it's whoever you're bringing in, it's always with open arms. And I'm so grateful that you guys did that for me, because you guys know that I love you to fucking death. Like, I have to say that completely right there, because honestly, like I said in the beginning of this, if it wasn't for some of your music, I would be messy and depressy a lot, and I would have probably given up on my Smash Attack page. But I
Well,
have awesome stuff to promote whenever it comes to you guys and a bunch of these other local bands.
we appreciate that you didn't give up on Smash Attack, and we love having you as a family member.
Well, thank you, because I love it. It's awesome. And I'm just I'm very excited for this new stuff to come out. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, whenever you guys did the little teaser video coming back from the studio and stuff, I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god, it's coming." Like, I was so excited. And that's how I've been, and I told, my daughter, I'm like, "New music's coming." And she just gets so excited because she thinks that she's like the princess of like the metal scene, pretty much, because any type of merch that is around, that is like a bracelet or a necklace or whatever, if it's given to us, like, we are extremely grateful for it. If we have to buy it, that's awesome too. We always want to support. And this girl, she comes out of a room and she has bracelets going up her arms, like four different necklaces on, and she just thinks that she's like the hottest little shit, because she's the metal princess of the group of us. And I've mentioned it before on an interview. I think it was with Josh from Symmetrical Defiance, but it's so funny because one of the very first things that she ever really learned how to do was stick up her horns. So then she started learning how to headbang, but she still can't get the rhythm of it down just to keep up the horns. So as she's headbanging, her fingers just start going down. And it is the funniest thing. Whenever I get her to do it again, I will send you a video of that personally, because it is
Definitely,
so
definitely.
damn funny.
Well, when I get off here, I'm gonna have Paige send you the unmixed version of one of the songs. Shooting Star, in fact, is one I wanted to send you. It ain't mastered yet. It is mixed down, but it ain't mastered. So it's for you and your kids' ears only.
Oh, thank you.
And definitely, and that's another thing with small bands. You got to invest in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, how is somebody else supposed to believe in you?
Exactly.
We've given away shirts, bracelets, whatever, because we look at it like this: the more people wearing our stuff, the bigger audience we get,
Hmm.
and that's all we want. We ain't trying to be rock stars or famous. We just want to play music and have fun, and we want people to enjoy what they hear. And the more
Exactly.
people we get, hopefully, more people we can affect.
Right. And honestly, like, I think it's really cool. Like, the whole idea behind merch, me obviously being promotion and stuff, I think it's really cool to have merch, just because, me being here in Pittsburgh, if I wear this shirt out to the grocery store and it catches somebody's eye and they ask me what it is, that could be a possible, like, it's literally promotion. Like you're wearing promotion. And I
and
think
that's
that that's like the coolest thing.
and that's another thing as far as starting out bands, find your brand and make it a brand. That we work hard. We have a graphic designer that we deal with who's done all our stuff, and he's incredible. But that was it. He said there's two or three different things. We picked that because it represents us.
Right.
And people know that hand. I got it on the back of my car. All the band members have it. I mean, we drive down the street, see somebody with it. We have no idea who it is. We know they've been to a show. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. Believe in yourself. Find your brand and brand it. I mean, and I know I've dealt with some younger bands who ask for advice and ask for our help, and they're like, well, we don't have the money, we can't do that. Okay, not everybody has money. We ain't rich, but you start. Find something you can afford to do. Like the bracelets are
Yeah.
not expensive,
No.
and having stuff like that just to give out and say you can't go to a studio like we did. Okay, well, there's enough home studios you can put out a demo. At least give people an idea of what you got going on.
Exactly. Exactly. Even whenever it comes down to I see a lot of people, since everybody's stuck at home, a lot of people are doing like guitar playthroughs or drum playthroughs. You could even do something like that, just even for 30
Definitely.
seconds. Just a 30-second teaser, just to give everybody like a little, oh, I wonder what the rest of that sounds like, because then people are going to start asking. You're going to have more interaction, and interaction's exactly what you need. That's always what you need.
It is, and that's it. I mean, go to other shows, meet other bands that have been doing it longer than you have. Try to surround yourself by veterans that have made mistakes. That way, you don't make the same mistakes. That's the biggest thing when people ask me stuff. Don't do this because I did it and it didn't work out very well. Or do this, like I said, just simple things. Like I said, you ain't got a lot of money and you're a teenager, you're starting out in a band, pull your money together, spend your $100 and get you 500 bracelets. You'd be amazed
Yep.
how much those 500 bracelets will help you get your name out there.
Exactly. Exactly. And honestly, like, I have the Smash Tech bracelets, obviously, and it's so weird seeing people with my name on them, because I never thought that I would ever have merch. But, you know, I was able to get 4 different colors, and I put that out there. And there's so many people that are like sending me pictures, like, showing me like their wrist and stuff. And they're like, Smash, I got your bracelet. Thank you so much, and stuff. And I'm just like, and then with that comes along like 20 extra people, and they're like, how do I get one of those bracelets? And I'm just like, what? Because I don't think that people actually like really follow what I do, or.
They do, and David, my other guitar player, so like he came over. We had a weekend long practice. He came over. So he came over, where my bracelet at? I said,
Oh.
it's right here, man. Calm down. And he immediately
Yeah,
put it on and he took it off. And like, like with me, I use flight case for my guitars. I'll put my sticker on my flight case. So you always on the road with us.
absolutely. Hell yeah, that's awesome. I love it. It makes me very happy. Yeah, I never once thought. And honestly, like, there was something in an interview that I watched. I want to say it was with Ed Sheeran, which is so like off the wall, but someone had asked him a question, and he had said something like, don't go into it expecting that you're going to be famous. Go into it expecting that you're going to help people heal, or something when it comes to that. And that's also like another really good piece of advice that I don't know if you want to touch on that or not, but if you expect to go into it famous, you're most likely
You
going to fail. It's when you least expect it.
That's the best piece of advice. There's a guitarist in Memphis that were really cool, and he's just incredible. Alvin gave me the best piece of advice anybody gave me. If you don't go into a band trying to be professional and expect to fail some, you already failed.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's just life in general. Nothing's ever 100% perfect. So if you go in there thinking, okay, we wrote this killer song. We're gonna make millions of dollars. No, you ain't.
Yeah.
And I hate to be, and that's a bad thing to say if I ain't in a band. But I mean, be honest, you got to be honest with yourself. Don't take advice from your fans, your friends and family saying, "Oh, you're the greatest thing since Elvis," because you're not. Most likely, you may be good, and you're who you are. That's it. I've always that's the biggest struggle I doing interviews is who are y'all sound like? Katie Elliott. I mean, 'cause we don't sound like anybody else,
Exactly. Yeah.
and that's it. We wanted to be original. We stayed original. We do a few cover songs. We actually got a cover song on this album coming out. Uh, but be original. Find your niche. Find who you are, and run with it. If it's blues, rock, speed, whatever, be you.
Yeah.
Because I hate to use the movie Rockstar as a cliche, but I rather fail as myself than be famous for somebody else.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a really, really good piece of advice because, no matter, and that goes for anybody, that goes for any brand, any business, any, musician out there, whatever you are, that's like one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever heard because, you know, I, I love to be friendly with people, but then there's also like that professionalism that just kind of, it's almost kind of like that customer service type of thing, because I worked retail for so long. But when it comes down to it, if I don't fail as Smash Attack, like I'm not gonna go into some company and fail, or be successful with that company if I'm the cookie cutter version of what they need me to be. I'd rather be Smash Attack,
Exactly.
and that's the best advice I've heard in a long time.
And
So
that's
thank
it.
you for that.
No, I mean that's just it. You got to be real with yourself and find who you are. I mean, uh, I've never changed. My sister always joke on me and stuff. My style of playing the music has never changed because that's what I've wanted to be. That's me. That's who I am.
Right.
And getting to find four of the guys that bring their own style and everything meshes and we all happy with what we're doing and able to pull this off is amazing by itself because it shouldn't work. I
Yep.
mean, Rusty was a cover singer for 20 years and his cover band was very well known up here. But he wanted to be original.
Yeah.
He has a daughter who started college the year he joined his band. He's been in his band a little bit over 2 years. And that's what he said. I did the cover band thing to satisfy my taste in music. My daughter's grown. She in college now. It's time to be me. Uh,
Absolutely.
Dave is more of a hardcore metalcore guitar player, and Justin's more of a hard rock metalcore bass player, and Mick's more of an old school Led Zeppelin, Cream, that kind of drummer,
Okay.
and I'm into the Seattle sound. Soundgarden, Chains, Mudhoney, all them. But you put us in a room together, it's magic. It shouldn't
Yeah.
work, but it does. That goes back to my advice: find who you are. Find like-minded musicians that don't want to change what your idea of what you want to play,
Exactly.
and don't not ask somebody because you think, oh well, they're not into my style. How do you know if you don't try?
Exactly. Exactly. And just because you guys might not have the best first impression, give everybody a second shot because they may have been having like a bad day. They may have been a little off. You never know. So don't just immediately cut somebody off. Try to see if you guys do have that chemistry.
Well,
I tell a lot of people that actually.
that and doing auditions is stressful.
Yeah,
You want to go in there and make the best impression, and next thing you know, you done made a bad impression because you were so stressed out. You didn't play the parts like you should know you can.
exactly. Yep.
So
Yeah. So don't, just cut somebody off after one bad, first impression. And I mean, this has been like the interview with the most advice I think thus far, just because, you know, and honestly, guys, like Joe is like one of the easiest people to talk to. And obviously, in this interview, you guys can see that he has some of the best advice. And he didn't even want to be in a band. He didn't even want to be in a band, and now he is. And, you guys could probably ask him anything, and he'd tell you.
I am very open, and we say this at our concerts. The last few concerts we've got to do, we've been playing Shooting Star, and that's the one thing that we preach. Suicide has affected me in many ways. I've had several musician friends who committed over the last couple of years, and people think they're alone. No, you're not. The music's always there, and we're always there. We say this every show. If you need to talk to somebody, no matter what time it is, somebody's on that band page.
Yep.
But we all work different hours. Like Rusty works swing shift 2 weeks out of the month, so he at work at 2 o'clock in the morning on Facebook. I may be on Facebook at 6 o'clock in the morning because that's when I'm usually up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So if you need to talk to somebody, our we're always there. I've given out my number to so many fans, just so if they need somebody to talk to, we're here.
Absolutely. And the same goes for my page, too. I mean, I have 4 kids. I have insomnia. I do better work at night than anything, so I'm already a night owl, not including the insomnia. But that goes for anybody. If anybody ever needs anybody to talk to, there's 2 people right here.
Definitely. And not just suicide or bad thoughts, but just bad situations itself. You're in a bad situation and you think you have no way out. Yeah, you do.
Yep.
And I personally have given money to people just to help them out because that's just what we do. I'm in a good position, so I was blessed to be where I'm at now and meet the people and play with the people I play with. And if I can turn somebody's fortune around, that's what I want to do. That's the biggest reason why I love playing music now, is that the music touch people and may change their view on life. And if they need help, we'll do everything we can to help.
Absolutely. Well, guys, this was, I think, the most advice you could really get in a 1 hour period ever. And you have 2 supporters right here. So if you ever need anything, you know who to, people are probably going to be in the comments of this because I was going to say, who to call, and they would have probably said Ghostbusters, but no, like us. But all right. Well, I'm a lot of questions for you, and I'm very excited to, hear everything when it comes to the new album. Is there anything that you would like to, put in a plug for, like promote anything?
Definitely. The new album's called Under the Blackened Skies. Uh, April, May is what we're looking to release the video and the lead track again, the full version, and the album being dropped. Uh, East Coast Apparel, Janet Olive does a lot of our merch. Great person to work with. She's up in your area. She's in New Jersey.
Okay.
Uh, uh, Intune Picks, Pig Hall Cables, Epic Guitars. I mean, we're sponsored by a lot of different people. So all those people, like I said, just keep working hard and if there's
Follow
anything
Caging Elliott on Facebook.
and
Biggest thing right there.
and if you're in an opening, if you're in a starting out band or whatever in the Mid South area, uh, and you're trying to book a show, reach out to us. If we dig it, it matches our music. You got a show. You ain't got to worry about that.
See, look at that. You got 2 supporters and a show. See, this was the best interview any of you guys could have ever watched because look at this. You guys can pretty much start anything and everything right now. And there you go. There's the kids. They agree with me.
Yeah, I hear.
All right, guys.
Well,
Well,
well, thank you for having me and supporting us and for what you do.